At what point is this race card going to stop working? They'll keep using it as long as it works, and it's working. I was looking at an article in the LA Sentinel. LA Sentinel is the black newspaper in Los Angeles. Headline: California schools are failing the vast majority of students. Again, this is in the black newspaper. Written by a guy named Bill Lucia, L-U-C-I-A, president and CEO of Ed Voice. Quote, close your eyes for a moment. Imagine if only 1 in 6 African American students in an entire state could read at grade level. Imagine if fewer than 1 in 5 Latino students were performing at grade level in math. Imagine if less than 1/3 of students were proficient in either subject. Would you be outraged? This is the reality of California public education in 2018. He writes, wake up, he writes. California schools are failing the vast majority of students. In 4th and 8th grade math and reading, California once again falls near the bottom of the nation. 8th grade girls rank 41st in math. Latino 8th graders rank 43rd in reading. Low-income 4th graders rank 50th in math. African American 8th graders' average reading score is 28 points lower than whites. That gap has not significantly improved since 1998, 20 years ago. This piece was in 2018. Latino 4th graders scored an average of 23 points lower than math than whites, a gap that hasn't budged since 2000. And you can't blame it on funding. Quote, the state has carved out $20 billion in new funding to educate low-income students. English learners and foster youth now slated to spend $96 billion per year on K through 12 education, or $450,000 for every 28 kids. Quote, in fact, according to the Legislative Analyst's Office, adjusted for inflation, California's per pupil funding level is now at its highest level in 30 years. End of quote. But let's talk about Jacob Blake getting shot 7 times, even though he acknowledges he had a knife and acknowledges he did not follow instructions. Let's talk about that as if that's the problem facing the black community, because that's what gets people upset, and that's what gets votes, and that's what drives ratings, and you can always pin that on racism. How do you pin this unless you're willing to call teachers racist and principals racist and administrators racist? So let's just increase the money, not worry about the results, and then yell and scream and pound the table for racism every election cycle and get reelected and stay in power.